Okay. So, at what point did your association with organized crime begin?
I never considered myself affiliated with anybody. I always considered myself a renegade. Uh, in my book, The Accidental Gangster, I turned it down twice to become a made man.
Okay, which families offered you to become a maid?
Once out here on the West Coast, and once Sonny says, "No, you're not getting made there. You're getting made here."
So the Colombo family offered you
Yeah.
to be made. Okay, and we'll get into that whole part of the story and so forth. So you're in Rome, New York, and you know some of these criminal figures. Did you start doing crimes back in Rome, or is it until you moved back to Los Angeles?
Well, depends what you call crimes. Here's what happened, and I'm going to tell more about it in my second book. It's called about my journey through the judicial system. Uh, I had a legitimate business, the Ori Agency, and I came up with an idea of how to bring this on a national basis, and I needed $12 million. I'm going back early 70s, $12 million, a lot of money. But I came up with a way to bring this national. I was a legitimate businessman doing several millions of dollars a year. I had agents throughout New York State and had over 250 automobile dealers as clients of mine. And we were in Boston when they were filming The Brinks Job with John Cassavetes, Peter Falk, and the guy who actually performed The Brinks Job. Russ Serpi and Dino De Laurentiis were filming. Russ Serpi was the producer on that. And I explained to Ralph what I needed because I knew Dino was like magic. He could raise money from anywhere. Dino, that was his forte, raising money and getting money for film. So I put the plan together. We flew out to Beverly Hills, met with Dino De Laurentiis. He loved the idea. I brought him, I demonstrated what we called the Ori method in downtown LA Motors back then. And in the meantime, while I'm doing all this traveling on airplanes and everything, one of the guys that I worked for found out about a deal that I had with the insurance company where I was allowed to use the premiums to grow the business. Because here again, this insurance company was out of Michigan. I was their golden boy. I'm bringing them millions of dollars a year. And he found out, getting drunk one night, dating my secretary, and was out with my accountant. Only 3 people besides the insurance company knew about the deal. Me, my brother, and my accountant. Nobody else knew. And Generelli found out about it. He threatened the insurance company that he would blow them into the New York State Insurance Department. Happened on the same day that I flew back from San Francisco, where I was with a girl that became my second wife. My first wife picks me up at the airport in Fort Lauderdale, and as we're driving to the condo, I'm telling her, look, we got a lot of money, we own this property, that property, let's get a divorce, we're still young, you're beautiful, you can find somebody. And then when we walked into my condo, my kids, my mother, I remember looking out my patio window and they're on the beach playing. My phone rings, and it was my bookkeeper telling me that Dick Leamy called. He's at LaGuardia Airport. He's coming in to close my business. But he wanted me to call him. I called Dick. I said, what are you talking about? He explains to me. He said, can you get the money? Their money was tight in the banks and so forth in those days. So I got on a plane, flew back, had Frank Russo and my banker in my office. I needed $350,000, something like that. I already owed the bank maybe close to $1 million. And it was a small bank, and that was the maximum loans they could make. So I looked at Frank. I said, Frank, I said, what's the worst could happen? He said, you're looking at 50 years in jail. I said, what are you going to represent me? Frank says, no. He says, Ori, I'm too old to represent you. He says, I recommend Louis Brindisi. You got Louis Brindisi. And in the meantime, I was trying to raise the money, came this close to it, because I felt if I could pay that off, I still got my other businesses, everything would be all right. Needless to say, I lost everything. 4.5 years later, I got indicted on mail fraud. And that was the beginning, my first felony in federal court in Syracuse, New York.